Hi guys, my name is Nastya Swan. I'm 22 years old and I'm a fashion and beauty influencer based in New York City. For the past few years, I completely transformed my life and turned my social media platforms into my business that brings me around $30,000 a month. On a good month, it's around $50,000, but you know, we're gonna talk about it a little bit later. I'm so happy and grateful to say that for the past few years, I've worked with some of the most influential brands in the world, from high fashion to beauty, from sportswear to wellness. Brands around the world reach out to me to work with me, and imagine the feeling when it's the brands that you used to dream to buy and now you work with them. I created this video lesson to help influencers and experts to start making at least $10,000 a month and to grow your audience, to grow your engagement on social media, and start working with top-tier brands in the industry. Before we start, let me share a little bit of my story. I started my social media when I was 14 years old because I was so passionate about YouTube and I was following all those influencers. I was following their life and they were so real, so raw, and so relatable. I wanted to be one of them. I wanted to build my own community and find my people around the world who would support me and support things that I do. Of course, when I was 14, 15 years old, all I cared about is posting things that I like, things that interest me, things that I'm passionate about, and I didn't even think about monetizing my content. But in the meantime, I was focusing on growing my audience. By the time I was 16 years old, I already had 100,000 followers, and when I was 16 years old, I decided to move to the US. That's when I came to New York, and that's when my life changed. I started creating interesting content and showing people my life in New York City, and there's so many people around the world who are dreaming to go to New York and to be here and to build their life here. And for so many people, it's just a dream. And when you see a young girl who goes to New York on her own and follows her dream, it is very encouraging and it is very interesting to watch. So that's how I started blowing up, and my YouTube channel grew from 100,000 followers to 600,000 followers in like few months, literally. And all my other social media platforms started growing super fast. I had millions of views on my videos, and I started receiving so many messages from people that they love me, that I inspire them, and I also started receiving emails from brands to work with me. The first job that I did in the US was for Bershka, and they paid me $6,000 for 1 or 2 posts on my Instagram. And that moment, I still did not really care about the money. I cared about working with the brand and going to events and meeting new cool people. But that moment, I was like, you know what? I like to be an influencer. By the time I turned 21, social media became my full-time job. And now I'm 22 years old. It fully covers all my expenses, all my life, all my travels, and even my apartment 2 minutes away from Central Park. I live in Manhattan, and I live in one of the best buildings in New York City, which I'm so freaking grateful for. But I worked for it. But to know that you can make just one post on social media or one video, and that will cover like 3 months of your rent, is just so freaking amazing. Calling this your job and knowing that you love doing this, that you're passionate about it, and not even feeling that you're working is the best feeling in the world. And just to let you know, I've never had an agent. I've never had people who were pushing me to brands, who were like introducing me to people. I did it myself. All the contacts that I've gained, all the experience that I've had in New York City, all the network that I've built in this city, I did it myself. And it took me 6 years. Throughout these years, I experienced an insane amount of anxiety, fear, not understanding what to do, how to grow. And don't get me wrong, I've had so many difficult days when I was like, oh my God, I have literally $100 on my bank account. Like, what am I gonna do? I was constantly asking myself questions like, how can I find brands to work with? How can I do more collaborations with brands? How can I meet new people in the industry? How do I get invited to all these events? Why all these girls go to the events and I'm not going? How do I get there? How do I go viral, and how do I create content that blows up? How can I make more money and ask brands to pay me more? How do I meet all these cool influencers and become their friends and create content with them? How do I do all of that? If you're asking yourself the same things, I got you, because now throughout the years, I know all the answers. This is how some of my first jobs on social media looked like. And now I'm proud to say that this is how my content looks like. And I've worked with some of the best brands in the industry. They know me, they respect me, they invite me to their events, and they also repost me to their pages. For example, I worked with a lot of beauty brands, and some of them are Sephora, Maybelline, L'Oreal. Actually, L'Oreal Paris was incredible experience because they hired me as one of the ambassadors for L'Oreal Paris Cannes Film Festival, and I went to red carpet in Cannes Film Festival with L'Oreal Paris when I was just 18 years old. I worked with Clarins, Laura Mercier, Tom Ford Beauty, Marc Jacobs Beauty, Burberry Beauty, like all the brands that you can imagine. In the fashion field, I worked with brands like Bulgari, Tom Ford, Escada, Valentino, Trussardi, and so many more. You can find them on my Instagram if you want. Also, because of what I do, I've had so many cool experiences with celebrities where I met Kim Kardashian, Marc Jacobs, Adriana Lima, Julia Fox, and I mean, so many incredible people who not only taught me so many things, but also inspired me to grow more and grow bigger. And just think about it. I have all of that only because of my social media platforms. And I'm also not trying to brag about all of those things. I'm not trying to say that I'm cool, like look at me, look at what I'm doing. No, I was a little insecure girl who lived in a small town across the globe, who was dreaming about all of that, who was dreaming about living in New York City at 14 years old. Like I already knew that I want to be in New York, in America. At that age, I was not born with that. I built it myself. And I'm just 22 years old, and I'm not the only example. Like, look at all these kids on the internet who are like 18, 17, 16 years old, and they make millions. It's not a lie, it's true. People monetize the shit out of social media, and you can do it too. How? Just follow the steps that I'm gonna tell you about right now. Step number 1, you have to figure out your creative style and what do you want to do on social media. Do you want to be a fashion influencer? Do you want to be a wellness influencer? Do you want to be a motivational speaker? Do you want to talk about books? Like, what are you and what are you selling to people? Because social media is all about selling. Do you want to work with brands and advertise products, or you want to build your own product and sell it on your page? It's two different things and they are completely different strategies. I'm not going to tell you choose your niche because that's bullshit. That's for small influencers. The real influencers, the biggest influencers in the world, they are the niche. They create trends. They are the walking trends that everybody wants to follow. But you have to figure out your path and your goals and to stick to it. Step number 2, it's not about creating more content. It's about creating a smart content. The content that helps you to grow. When people say you have to post more, you have to post every day, you have to post 3 times a day on TikTok in order to grow, that is not true. That's not how it works. You can just post once a week, but if that TikTok blows up every time you post, every time you create something insane, something super fun, something super interesting to follow, and people love your vibe, you will grow so much faster and so much bigger than any other person. And at the same time, you have to build honest and deep relationships with your audience in order to have incredible engagement with them, in order to receive support and love from them. You cannot pretend, you cannot fake your emotions because people are smarter than you think. The more you Photoshop yourself, the more you edit yourself, the less engagement you will have with people because people are so tired of perfect pictures and perfect people on the internet. They want to see raw, real people, raw emotions, real, relatable situations because we all are human beings and we go through shit. On the internet, people are trying to find that older sister that they never had, that can give them advice, that can be real with them, that can motivate them and inspire them to move forward in their life. We all are looking for leaders and you have to be a leader. It's honestly the worst feeling when you create content and you post it and you're like, yes, it's a cool idea, everybody's gonna love it, and nobody likes it. Like, it just doesn't go viral, it doesn't get enough likes, and it just upsets you so deeply because you lose motivation. You're like, why is it not working? But I created the system for every platform that helped me to go viral every single time I post. And here's some examples from some insights from my Instagram reels that everybody loves, that went viral, and I did it on purpose. I knew exactly what I'm doing and it worked. And I'm not gonna lie, it's an amazing feeling when in one day literally like 30,000 people follow you from just one post, from just one reel, and people just discover you and message you. It's an amazing feeling. Step number 3, in order to become a top influencer, you have to build not only social media presence, but real life presence. So go to events, socialize, collaborate with other influencers. And that was one of the hardest things for me because I'm such an extroverted introvert. if you can say so. Like, I used to go to all of these events and literally shake from my social anxiety. Like, I couldn't talk to people. I hated small talks. I didn't know what the hell am I doing. And throughout the years, only through my experience, I've learned that you go to events not to create content, not to meet random people and to make friends. You go to events to become friends with the PR of the brand that is making this event. Why? Because PR people in this industry is everything. PR people is the ones that will hire you for a job. Being friends with PR people means that they will always invite you to brands, they will consider you for a job, they will, you know, they will bring opportunities to your table basically. PR people are everything. They make things happen. So I remember literally hating going to all these events. I would skip them. I would, you know, I would feel so insecure and embarrassed to go to all these places. But now I get invited to all these cool events. Like, for example, a few days ago, I went to Burberry beauty event in New York City, and I just go there and I know all the PRs, and I arrive there and I'm so happy because I see so many people that I know, and I just hug everyone. And it just became such a comfortable environment for me where I feel like it's just my friends and I'm hanging out with my friends. But it took me years to build that. And next week I have so many cool events. I have Longchamp event where I'm gonna be dressed by the brands and I'm gonna go to their event. And tonight I actually have an event too. Oh my god. Just having followers on social media is just not enough anymore, because you have to know how to network. You have to pull people. You have to be able to email the right person and contact the right person. If you can't do that, you can't really work in the industry. And now I literally think about the brand. I'm like, oh my god, Charlotte Tilbury. Oh, that's Ashley. And whenever I need something from the brand, I just email her and I'm like, hey, how are you? I saw the new collection and I want to try these products, or like, I want to work with the brand. And if you have the contact of the right person and you know the person in real life too, it makes everything so much easier, and that's when the magic happens. In this industry, people are so much more important than money, because people in this industry bring you money. Money doesn't come just from nowhere. They come from people, through people who represent brands. Step number 4 on the way to becoming a top influencer is you have to work through your fear of being judged on the internet. Whew, that is a good one. Probably one of the most important things as well, because if you go on the internet and you start sharing your life, but people start judging you, which is absolutely normal and it will happen. Like, you can be the nicest influencer in the world, like post beautiful things and, you know, like make everything look perfect, and there will be people who will shit on you. You know why? Because some people are just assholes, and you have to be prepared for that. If you're just not prepared for negative comments, it will break you, it will hurt you, it will close you, and you will not be able to show your heart and to show your personality. That happened to me too. How do I know that? Not because I've read books about it, because it happened to me for 2 years. After people were bullying me on the internet for 2 years, I stopped doing my YouTube channel. I stopped posting much on Instagram, and my engagement, of course, really went down. I didn't want to post anymore because I thought that all of the people who follow me, they are like that. I focused so much on negative comments. I hated those people back, and I was like, why would I post? Like, why would I share my life with those assholes? But not all the people are like that. It's just a part of your audience that will always exist, that will always hate because they're jealous. Like, you're doing something that people are afraid to do. They want to do it, but they're afraid to do it. And you are the one who is going through the fear and who is doing the actions. Of course, they're gonna hate you. Do you understand that when I started my YouTube channel, people in my school were bullying me? I will never forget that, because during lunchtime, those high school students, like, they were the coolest in school. They would come up to me and be like, oh my god, can I take a picture with you? Look at you. Oh my god, that's our YouTube star. And would laugh at me. They would literally, during the class, turn on my YouTube videos on the big screen. They would show it to the teachers and they would laugh about it. I was hurt, but I always knew, for some reason, I always knew, I was like, you motherfuckers, I will be successful. Like, I just knew that. I just need to follow my path and do what I'm doing and not to listen to them. And I did. Listen to this. 1 year ago, the guy who bullied me the most at school, he messaged me the picture that he did with me when I was young, as a joke, of course. And he was like, you know what? I have to take my words back because you fucking made it. You made it. I'm proud of you. It was like music to my ears when he said that, because I was like, I knew it. I told you. Now they all follow me. Now they all want to be like me. And we were here on the same level one day, but now I'm here and they're still here. Sorry. Also, you have to remember that your point A is someone else's point B, meaning that if you are sharing something on social media about your life, for you it's just the beginning, but for someone else it is already an achievement. So when you think that you don't have anything to share in your life is boring, it is not true. Because for some people, you're already someone who they can look up to. And trust me, you are needed and you are important. You just have to go through that fear of judgment, of people's opinions, and it will take time. But if you can just one day be like, you know what? Doesn't matter if they love me or hate me, I'm just gonna do me, you will be so relieved. And that's when you are gonna have finally a successful mentality. So in order to become a successful influencer who makes shit tons of money on social media and works with all these brands and respected by his audience, he has to work on his mental health and work on his self-esteem. And step number 5, you have to stop thinking that everything's gonna come to you. You have to stop thinking that you will get those followers and life's just gonna magically happen. And that's why people are so confused and so lazy, because when they scroll social media, they're like, oh wow, he got this Lamborghini so easily. Like, he's just traveling with all these brands so easily just because he's famous. Like, you know, it just happens so easily. No, it's not. It's hard work, okay? It's hard work. Being an influencer, it's a job. The same job as you would do outside of social media. Like, how is it different? Tell me. Just because it has this stupid reputation that influencers are just people who just run around and take pictures, it doesn't make it easier. It just doesn't. It's a job, okay? But the majority of people are treating social media as fun and just something that feeds their ego and their self-esteem. And there's some people who make money out of it, who monetize it, and to make it into their business and into their career, which is what we're gonna do. You have to work hard, especially in the beginning. And when you will get a job and you will be like, oh my God, why are they only gonna pay me $500? Like, I want millions, I want thousands at least. You have to start somewhere. You have to start with $500. You have to start with $1,000 for 4 posts. You have to start somewhere. You have to practice your talent. Maybe now you're just making $500 a month, but in the nearest future, if you follow my tips and if you follow the things that I tell you to do, I promise you, you will make so much more. I hope you guys liked this video, which is a small sneak peek to a main program that I'm gonna launch soon. If you wanna get a personalized strategy from me on how to grow as an influencer, how to start making money from your social media platforms, and how to make your content go viral for free, just text the word strategy to my DM right now. And I go through all of the messages myself. I read through all of my DMs and I will contact you myself really soon. I'm excited to help you guys. I'm excited to work with you and to make your dreams come true, because once I was that little girl, so I want to help others. And thank you so much for watching this video till the end. It really means the world to me. I love you guys and I talk to you soon.